Director here at QuoteWerks. Today we're going to be discussing the QuoteValet and QuoteValet Web integration features, how they're used in QuoteWerks, kind of how they complement each other. We're also going to display some diagrams for you guys, just some easy workflow diagrams, kind of how everything works together as one. And then we'll also be discussing some of the additional resources that are available on our website, such as like our help file and things of that nature. One thing I wanted to mention, we have earned a couple new awards. So, QuoteWerks has been around for over 20 years, and we're continuously developing and refining the product, and we were recognized by a couple different ASCII groups. We actually have our newest one that's not on this slide yet, which is going to be 2014 Providence. So the Providence group also voted us the best software solution. We're also recognized by Channel Pro Magazine as the best quoting solution in that category. So pretty cool, because we do have almost 70,000 users in over 100 countries. So just something we wanted to mention, because it is really cool to be recognized as we are continuing to develop and refine the product. So QuoteValet is made up of 5 major integration points. We're going to have our notifications, which are going to be our email notifications and our dashboard notifications in QuoteValet. Approval and peer review are going to be supported via QuoteValet as well. So if you do have approval settings set up or requesting a peer review of a document, you'll actually be able to do that via QuoteValet without having to physically be in QuoteWerks. So it's a nice feature specifically for any kind of reps that are out in the field or any kind of sales managers who might need to approve documents while they're outside the office. QuoteValet is also going to provide credit card payment support. So if you are trying to process orders directly through QuoteValet, we do have that functionality available. We can also set specific deposit amounts. So if you're looking to have your customer pay 50% of the document or 20% of the document down before moving forward with any kind of work, we're able to support that. We do support PayPal as well as one of the other gateway options. QuoteValet is also going to come with the ability to create a shopping cart page. So a shopping cart page is extremely useful if you want the ability for your customer to be able to go to a page and actually reorder some items that you've set up previously for them. They'll be able to adjust quantities, select the items they'd like, and actually submit the order without you having to create a quote for them each time. So very useful if you have any customers that do any kind of reordering from you. You can set them up with their own page, or you can set kind of like a default one on your website that your customers can access from anywhere. And then one of the major dynamic points major integration points with QuoteValet are our dynamic documents. This is my favorite feature in QuoteValet. I used to use it all the time. It's great. It allows your customer to actually choose options between actual options where there's checkboxes or mutually exclusive options where they can select the different options. So if you give them kind of like a good, better, best kind of deal, they can actually go through and make that selection. The other thing is that they would be able to change quantities. So we actually have a short video on the website that'll show you how to set up your QuoteValet layout or QuoteValet template and make those changes so that the customer can select the different quantities. So we're just going to briefly go over our integration points here just in a little more detail for you guys. So the first one's going to be the email notification. So every time your customer views a document in QuoteValet, when they click on that QuoteValet link, it'll actually send an email to the sales rep notifying you that they viewed the document for the first time. If the customer posts a comment about it, you'll get an email notification. If the customer electronically signs off and accepts the document, you'll receive a notification then as well. You'll also receive a notification if you accept credit card payments or PayPal. When they make payment, you'll receive that email notification. Or if you're using QuoteValet Mobile, you'll receive a mobile quote notification or a mobile quote creation notification rather, that a new mobile document has been created. The dashboard notifications are going to be notifications for each action in QuoteValet. So instead of sending an email for everything that happens in QuoteValet, we only send you emails for the kind of like what we call priority notifications. So first view, comments, acceptance, payment, and mobile quote creation. The dashboard notifications are going to capture every activity. So that's going to capture each view, comments, option changes, acceptance, the expired quote view. So you actually get a notification if your customer views a document that's been expired, and a mobile quote created. So it's a really nice thing to have where you're not getting an email every time a customer views a document, because customers review the document 15, 20 times before deciding to move forward or not, and that way we're not flooding your inbox with a bunch of email notifications. You'll simply get those dashboard notifications that you'll be able to dismiss, and I'll show you where that is going to be available as well. The approval and peer review through QuoteValet is also a great tool. This allows you to electronically review your documents outside the office. So if you don't have access to QuoteWerks or you're just not in the office and you want to be able to approve a document, if you're a sales manager or even if you're just a colleague and you want to review a document and post a comment on it before your rep is putting out the document on your behalf, you can actually use QuoteValet to approve and have those peer review documents. The really nice thing about this, again, is that you're going to be able to do it from anywhere. So you can do it from your phone, your iPad, any kind of tablet. If you're outside the office, you just log into QuoteValet Web, and you'll be able to actually make those changes. Further going along with our integration points, we have our credit card payment option. So this will actually allow your customers to process orders directly through QuoteValet. This is included in the QuoteValet subscription. There's no additional charge or anything like that. We support 80 different gateways, so if you are using one of the authorized gateways that we support, you'll actually be able to just hook it up into QuoteValet and start accepting payments. So it's a pretty easy thing to set up, and there's no additional charge. We don't take a % or anything like that. We just simply facilitate that processing for you. You can also set those deposit amounts, so if you do want to set, like your customer needs to put 20% down or 25% down, before you can move forward with any work, you can set that up as well. And then the shopping cart, this is so you can create those customized order forms for your documents. You could also create a generic form for all your users if you only supply, a couple items or a couple products or services that you want anyone to be able to order at any time. You can create a custom shopping cart on your website that users can visit and make those order forms. The nice thing about the shopping cart is the customer is going to be able to select those different quantities and change line items and things of that nature. And then you will receive those email and QuoteValet Dashboard notifications for any of those activities. So when your customer signs up through the order form or through the shopping cart page, you'll actually receive notifications for that. The dynamic documents in QuoteValet, again, I already said this, it was my favorite feature. This is what allows you to set your items as optional and mutually exclusive. So you can actually give your customer the power to make their selections over the optional items. You can already have them included, and then the customer can go back and deselect them if they'd like. And we'll actually go through how that works and how easy it is to set up in QuoteWerks. You can give your customer the ability to make changes to the quantities as well. We don't have ours set up that way, but that is available. There's a video on the website that I'll actually walk you through that, very short, probably 3 or 4 minutes. And then we do have comment support for your documents. So if your customer is looking at a quote and they want to ask you a question or just post a comment about the document, they can actually do it right in QuoteValet, and that'll send a notification to the rep about your customer's comment. So the typical workflow in QuoteWerks is going to be creating your document, delivering, purchasing, and then fulfilling the order. So the first step is when you're creating your document in QuoteWerks is you're going to choose your products and services for sourcing. So you're going to build your document in QuoteWerks. We're then going to upload it to QuoteValet where the customer can accept and possibly provide payment once they've signed off on it. Once that's happened, we're going to be able to update your opportunity. So if you're using one of the CRMs or PSAs that we support, you'll actually be able to update that opportunity from QuoteValet. And then that'll give you the chance to resource the product. So if an item is no longer available or the pricing's changed, you can update it before actually placing the order with one of the supported distributors. Or if you're going to be processing it manually, we do have PO support that's available now in some of the newer versions of QuoteWerks. This will also let you create the purchase order for QuickBooks or Sage 50, which is formerly known as Peachtree. So we added this support recently, so if you're looking to be able to transfer that data from QuoteWerks into one of those 2 accounting packages, that's going to be available for you. We can also create a manual purchase order, so you can go in there and actually track the information, mark when it's been received, mark the serial items, things like that, which will bring you all the way to delivery and fulfillment for that order. So now QuoteValet Web is going to have a lot of features available to you from any document you create in QuoteValet rather. So this is going to be the reporting engine for QuoteValet documents specifically. So basically it's going to provide you with an executive dashboard. This is going to be primarily for your sales managers, your VPs of sales, anyone that's kind of a management role in the organization. They're going to be able to see how many quotes were sent this week, how many were accepted, how many were paid, what are the top dollar quotes, what are the top dollar orders, are customers viewing documents, have they posted any comments or sales reps responding to those comments, and then you'll even be able to do like a comparative analysis between your different reps where they can actually post, or you can actually sort by rep which ones have the best quotes or the highest dollar amount of quotes and the highest dollar amount of orders. That information will all be available to you through QuoteValet Web. So any document you submit through QuoteValet, you'll be able to utilize this functionality. There's also the My Summary, which would be more on just the sales rep side of things. So this is where you can actually view your own documents that you've created in QuoteWerks that have been uploaded to QuoteValet. You'll be able to see kind of what's going on with your documents, how many quotes you've sent for the month, how many of those have been converted to orders, that type of information. We also offer a status board through QuoteValet Web. This is a really cool feature. This is actually something we use in our office where we can see every sales rep's document. So when a document has been accepted by a customer or when it has been paid, both, when a customer views it, all that information will actually pop up on a status board. We have a 40-inch TV where we have this information on. So all the reps are kind of informed and kind of in the know of what's going on with all the documents in QuoteValet. Very useful if you have reps that are in and out of the office all the time and you have other users processing orders and following up for clients for them. You'll be able to have this information up and they can actually see what's going on without having to constantly refresh QuoteValet or QuoteWerks and look for that information or just doing normal follow-ups. This information will just be available kind of like at all times, and it does refresh every 60 seconds as well, so it's always going to be available for you. The Find functionality in QuoteValet will let you search for any specific document in QuoteValet. So if you're looking for a specific document so you can see information about it, you'll be able to use QuoteValet Web and use the Find functionality to locate that document. And then we do have the inbox, which are going to be your notifications. That's going to be, again, on a sales rep basis where you can actually see what's going on with your documents in QuoteValet. And then we do have the peer review and approval support through QuoteValet Web as well. So you can actually see which documents are waiting for peer review, which ones have been approved by management. That information will be available. This is just a larger screenshot of the status board, so you can actually kind of see what it would look like. As you have reps creating documents, you'll be able to see top accepted quotes this week or this month, this year, who's has the largest orders this year, how many documents have gone out today. That kind of information will all be available. So it's a really great tool to use in any kind of environment where you have your reps or even just inside salespeople together where they can, or where they're collaborating and able to work off each other's documents and help everyone out. This is a larger screenshot of our shopping cart functionality. So this will actually show you an example of what you can do with the shopping cart. So if you wanted to set up a specific way for your document to look, this one's set up by products and services, and then the customer can actually go in there and select the quantity and select the items they'd like and then make purchase on this particular one. So this is just one example of the shopping cart, and we'll go through how to set that up in QuoteWerks and QuoteValet. Some resources that you should check out on the website. If you are interested in setting up the QuoteValet integration, we do have a video that will walk you through that. It's very easy. I'm actually going to do it here. It'll take all about 2 seconds to show you. So it's really easy to set up. There is some information about QuoteValet Mobile. It is been out for a while. Little known feature in QuoteValet, and it is included with your QuoteValet subscription. So if you do sign up with QuoteValet, you actually have access to QuoteValet, QuoteValet Web, the shopping cart, and QuoteValet Mobile, all at the same price. You don't have to pay additional charges for any of that information. And then again, we do have our general just QuoteWerks overview videos that are available. Our online help file, this is our new help file in QuoteWerks. If you've been on any of the recent webinars we've been talking about, we just want to make everyone aware. We have basically converted our PDF manual to this online help file. It's just a lot easier to use, a lot easier to manage, and a lot easier to search by. This was basically replacing a 1,000-page manual. Our manual is over 1,000 pages. It's just getting too large to be really useful, and we're having a lot of customers saying they're really having trouble finding things. So this has made things a lot easier. It is searchable by keyword, and there is an index that you can search by as well. We're always going to different events, so if you're going to be at GFI Max here in Orlando or any of the ASCII events or IT Nation, and there's a few more on our calendar, definitely stop by. We'd be happy to talk to you and answer any questions you guys have about QuoteWerks. Definitely follow up with us on social media. We are on Facebook and Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn, so feel free to send us a message if you have any questions or if you just want to tell us how much you love QuoteWerks. That's a great place to do it as well. We also do have our QuoteWerks forums on our website. There's a link to it, and I'll show you where that is. That's a great place to interact with other QuoteWerks users. So if you're looking to talk with others in the QuoteWerks community, it's a great place to go. You can bounce ideas off people of how they're doing things, layout designs, all sorts of stuff. So it's a really great tool that you can use. So real quick, we're going to go back to our website here. Let me log into my machine. And the first thing I just wanted to show you is where you can get to your videos, our help file, that information. So on our home page, if you click on support, you'll see this option here. This will bring you over to our updates, tech support, frequently asked questions, and then you'll see there is a forums link right here. So this is the easiest way to get to the web or to the forums. Just go to the website, click on support, forums, and that's available. Same thing with our videos; those are available as well. If I click on that videos link, you'll see it'll actually bring up a search box. So if you are looking for specifically like QuoteValet videos, we can just type in QuoteValet, and it'll actually return back all the results associated with that one. And the first one's going to be kind of like a QuoteValet overview video. It's also a QuoteValet mobile here, and then there's some down at the bottom. So just want to make that available to you guys, or make you aware of that it is available to you guys. You also see under the support, there's an option. If you just click the support, so don't actually click on the drop-down, just click support. This is a quick way to get to our help file. So just click support, and then click on help system here. This will actually bring you to our help file, so you can get right to the help file, and you'll be able to search for any questions or answers. And again, this is what's replaced the manual, so if you're looking for that, that's available to you. So let's go ahead and go into QuoteWerks and start going over some of the features with QuoteValet. So the first thing you do is you need to make sure you have it set up. So if you haven't requested QuoteValet credentials from us, go ahead and do that. We'd be happy to give you a trial so you can test it out. If you already do have QuoteValet, then to set it up, it's going to be very simple. You're going to click on Tools, Options, and then we're going to click on our QuoteValet tab. Typically, it's going to be in the top left here. And then you're simply going to put in your account number and password that we delivered to you. So you should have already requested those, and we'll deliver those to you. And then you're also going to have a couple options. So if you do want to use QuoteValet for peer reviews and approval requests, those options are available here. You can also have it prompt to convert to order, so basically convert the quote to an order once the customer has approved it. Once you've set those settings, the next option is going to be to simply set it up. So we'll click on our setup icon. So this is where you can make changes to your QuoteValet documents. So if you want to change the look of the templates, you can do that here. This is in HTML, so you will want a little bit of experience in order to make any kind of changes, so color changes, anything like that. So if you do have someone who works on your website, they'd probably be able to easily make these adjustments for you. The site files is where you can change just some of the default information in the QuoteValet template without having to do too much. So if you just wanted to replace our logo with your logo and put in your own banner, you're able to do that. In the help file that we just mentioned, it actually has the sizes for your logo and your banner, so you know the exact pixel size, down to the pixel, what size will fit directly in there without you having to make modifications or resize it yourself. So definitely check it out in the help file if you're interested in making those adjustments. This is also where you will set up the payment processing, so you can choose your gateway. So if it's credit card and then the actual merchant that's supporting it. Again, we do support PayPal as well, so you can actually use credit card or PayPal here. There is a quick start, so if you just simply want to use our, just drop your logo into our template, say, hey, that template looks great, that's the one I want to use, just want to add my logo, you can easily upload your logo here. One thing to keep in mind is that we do use the default names, so you will want to change it to default letterhead logo. So if you have your logo called, logo 1 or logo 2 or whatever it's called, just rename it to default letterhead logo before uploading, and that way it'll show up in your template. Your activity notifications, if you want to submit your notifications or have other users be CC'd or BCC on your notifications via QuoteValet, you can actually set that up here. And then there's some security settings for like IP addresses and filtering out different IP addresses if you don't want certain reps being able to log into QuoteValet Web if they're not in the office or if they're not using a certain IP address, that's available. So once you have QuoteValet set up, to use QuoteValet, it's going to be very simple. One of the first things I want to show you is the QuoteValet Dashboard. So if you've never seen QuoteValet before, if you've never used QuoteValet or even trialed it, you're going to see that there's a new button here. There's a QuoteValet button. So this is how you get your QuoteValet Dashboard. So we're going to go ahead and click on this. And this is going to bring up our QuoteValet Dashboard. Let me just center this around our screen here. This is going to show you, by default, your inbox. So whoever you're logged in on this QuoteWerks, you're going to see your inbox. You're going to see your notifications here on the left-hand side. These are what's going on with your documents currently. So you can see if you had a customer view the document, if they viewed the PDF, you'll actually see those little notifications. And on the right-hand side, you'll see the activity for that document. So you can see it was uploaded by this user, it was recalled, and then re-uploaded, then changed and uploaded, then the customer viewed it for the first time, then they viewed the PDF attachment. Once you viewed that information, say, okay, there's not really anything I need to do because they're just viewing the document, I can go ahead and dismiss it, and it kind of like clears it out of your inbox so you can go on to the next one. So you can actually go through these different notifications, and once you've viewed them, you can actually go through and dismiss them because you don't need to know that they're there. The nice things about the notifications is that if your customer goes and looks at the document a second, third, fourth time, you'll receive a notification here. We're not going to send you the email after the first view, so you'll be able to go to your QuoteWerks or QuoteValet dashboard and see that information here. There's also a reporting tab, which will let you report on your QuoteValet document. So if you wanted to set it based on information like, who's expiring this week, that's the one I used to use all the time, was saying, hey, show me all my quotes that are expiring this week or expiring next week. That information will be available for you. So that's always a good thing to keep in mind. Bring my dashboard up here. So you can actually set it to specific activities. So if you want to see, just show me my customer activity for the week or the month, or my quotes that are expiring this week, or maybe quotes that already did expire, you can set that through the reporting and kind of see a list of your documents. And then you can right-click on them and actually open the document. So if you need to adjust it, maybe it's about to expire, and you just talk to the customer, and they said, hey, can you give us another week? We're getting close to purchase. You can go right to that document by clicking Open Document. You can also view the customer-facing side or the sales rep side of things, which we'll go into a lot more detail here in just a few minutes. And then our Payments tab are going to be any payments that have come through QuoteValet. You'll actually see the payments listed here. So until you convert that quote to an order, the payment will be listed here, because that's how we're saying, hey, that payment's been processed in your system now. So now that you know that payment has come through, they'll show up here. If it hasn't been processed, if it has been processed, then it'll just be removed from this list. So we'll go back to our quote. So there's a couple things I want to do to this quote before I send it to my customer. So I got it pretty close. I have all the items on the document that I want to send over to my customer. But the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and set some optional items for my customer. I want them to actually choose if they want our 2 optional items down here at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on both these items, and I'm going to right-click and select Edit Line Attributes. So we're going to go into our line attributes and make those changes. And we're simply going to set them as optional. So it's going to ask us, is optional, yes or no? So we're going to say yes, and then is selected. So what this does, if you're comfortable with QuoteWerks and use the line attributes, you know that if you set your items as optional, they won't be included in your total in the document unless you check this box for is selected. For QuoteValet, what this also means is that when you do that, is that we're going to have a checkbox next to that item in QuoteValet and make sure that it is included. So we'll go ahead and we'll check it because we do want it to be included in the total for the customer, and we want them to see that it is a checkable option. So we'll go ahead and hit OK, and that's going to update my 2 items. Now, my 2 services here, I have a 3-year and a 5-year warranty. So I don't want to give the customer the option of both. I want them to choose which one they want. They don't need to purchase a 3-year and a 5-year. They just need one or the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these items mutually exclusive so my customer can decide if they want to purchase one or the other. And to do this, very simple. We're going to highlight my 2 items, right-click, go to Edit Line Attributes, and then go to Optional, and we're going to say yes. And then we're going to go ahead and check the box for is selected because we want to have at least one of them selected. And then we're going to assign them to an exclusive group. So anytime you want to have items that are mutually exclusive where the customer selects one of the available options, you'll assign them to the group. So for this one, we're just going to call this warranty. And you're just going to type in there. That's all you have to do is type in here. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it Group 1 if you wanted to, or Group 2 if you're doing multiple groups. You can set it up that way. So this is just going to be an example of what you can do. But this is how you're going to set up those mutually exclusive options, where it's going to have a radial button next to those line items, so that then you can choose which one, or the customer can rather choose which one they want to purchase. And then when you do that, it is just going to let you know, hey, you can only have one of the options selected. So we're going to go ahead and say yes, and that's fine. It'll always select the first one. So if you have 3, 5, whichever that is, when you make a mutually exclusive and you check that box for is selected, it always automatically selects the first one. You can go back and change it if you want to, just by editing the line attributes and changing the checkbox for that specific line item. It'll update it for you. So now we have our optional items set. If we did want to adjust our deposit required, we can click on our bottom left corner here and actually click on our ellipsis button and choose how we want the customer to pay, or how much we want the customer to pay. So we can say, okay, is it a % of the document? Is it 50% down that they need to pay? Is it 10% down? Is it a specific line item in the document? Maybe you're wanting your customer to pay all the services or all the hardware up front. You can actually set that here in QuoteWerks. for our purposes, we're just going to do the full amount. We want the customer to pay the entire document. We don't want them to just put a little bit down. So once we've set our deposit amount, we can now upload this to QuoteValet. So this is where it's going to be very similar to what you're doing currently, where you're going to click on Deliver. You're going to select your layout, and you can preview the document again to see if you want to make sure that it looks the way that it's supposed to before including this PDF. That's fine. This is an important step because we are going to include this PDF document with the QuoteValet document. So if you do have terms and conditions, service contract information, warranty information that you're attaching to the document, whether you're using the literature or the links tab for any of that information, that's fine. We're going to include that in the PDF that we deliver to the customer. So you still want to make that selection. Really, the only difference here is instead of choosing email after you preview your document, you're simply going to click Upload to QuoteValet. Now, if you haven't saved your document, it's going to prompt you to save it. So I'm going to go ahead and save my document here. And then you'll see here, this is actually asking for an approval. So if you've set up document approvals in QuoteWerks, this will flag the document based on your approval levels. I'm going to go ahead and override this because I do have master rights, so I don't need to request approval. But if you've set up approvals for your reps or you have approvals set in your information, you don't have to worry about QuoteValet bypassing those. They'll still be required for those approvals in order to send the document out this way. So we're going to go ahead and bypass that. And now it's going to bring us to the Upload QuoteValet screen. So the first thing is going to be our PDF file. So if we wanted to view the PDF, we can actually view it here. No need to do that because we'll pretend that we actually previewed it already. It looks great, so we're ready to send this to the customer. So now we're going to select the QuoteValet template in this document. So you're actually going to click on your drop-down and select your QuoteValet template that you want to use. Typically, it's going to be your customer-facing one. That's kind of like the default template in QuoteValet. And then you'll have the option of previewing it after uploading. So if you want to view what it's going to look like before we deliver it to the customer, you can do that. So you'll click Upload. And you can see it's uploading our document, it's uploading our PDF, and now it's done. Now I can preview this before I deliver it to the customer. I'm going to backtrack just a second. Thomas, I just saw your question. You're asking how we got the descriptive rows, i.e. hardware and services. On your Document Items tab over here, if you right-click, there's an option for Insert Heading Line, and that's what I use for those different sections, is just right-click, Insert Heading, and you can put in basically whatever any kind of description that you'd like. Again, I will try to answer as many questions as possible, so if I do miss your question, I do apologize. We'll try to go back and answer as many as possible as we go through this. So once you've uploaded your document, you're ready to preview it. I'm not actually going to preview it because I want to show you the customer-facing side of things first. So I want to show you what the customer views. This is important because this preview here is not the document link you want to send to your customer. This is an internal view. So if you view this, it's not going to include a link or a look in or as a view in your document in QuoteValet, and it'll even tell you it's going to say do not send this URL because it's not going to be a tracked URL. So let's go back to QuoteWerks and click Send Email. So here's the email that we're going to send to our customer. So you'll see here there's no attachment. All we're including are going to be your different options here, are going to be this link. So, and this is customizable. You can customize these email templates under Tools, Customize Email. So if you want to change the verbiage that's used in your quotes, or even just if you're using QuoteWerks and you just want to change the typical email that goes out, you can adjust these. So if I click on this link, I can actually see the entire link that's going to be delivered to my customer. So let's go ahead and click on that link. So we're going to pretend we're the customer now. So we're going to open our web browser, and we're going to click on that link. Now that opens up the quote in my web browser. Now this immediately sent an email to myself, since I'm the sales rep, telling me that my customer viewed the quote for the first time. So I've got an email notifying me that the customer viewed it for the first time. I now have a notification in my QuoteValet Dashboard that the customer viewed the quote for the first time. So then, again, this is all customizable. You can choose your own banner if you'd like to put it up here, your own logo, and this information will actually pull through QuoteWerks. So it's actually going to pull your who's prepared for, prepared by. You can include a picture of yourself if you like. And then here's the PDF. So if you wanted to include that PDF like we talked about, or you had something that you wanted available, you'll see that this is going to be included in that document that we deliver to the customer via QuoteValet. So you don't have to worry about your service contract or anything maybe the customer needs to read over, terms and conditions, that kind of stuff. We're going to include that in the PDF that we deliver to the customer. And then if we click down, you'll see, if we scroll down a little bit, you'll actually see the different columns here, the different sections that we use our heading lines to kind of break this out. And then you'll see we have our different optional items. So this is, again, my favorite feature in QuoteValet. It's a great feature that the customer can now go through and make their selection. So they can actually choose, okay, let's uncheck these options, and let's change this one with a 5-year, but we don't want those. Click Update, and that'll actually update our total. So if you remember before, we're at about 25,000 at our subtotal. Now it's down to 23. Or maybe they go back and say, okay, you know, we do want these items. Let's go ahead and do that. Click Update, and that'll change our update. Additionally, if you wanted to give the customer the option to change the quantity, you can do that. I don't have mine set up that way, but we do have a short video on the website that will actually walk you through how to make those adjustments. And if we scroll down a little farther, you'll actually see our acceptance portion. So this is where your customer can actually electronically sign and accept the document, and you'll receive an email notification when they do that. This is also where they can post any comments. So if they have a comment here, they can actually type that in. We'll just type in comment for our purposes. And once they do that and hit submit, they'll actually submit that comment to you, and you'll receive an email notifying you that the customer submitted a comment. However, maybe you're not checking your emails all the time. You can also see that information in QuoteWerks. So if we go back to QuoteWerks, you'll see that what's available now is a QuoteValet tab. All the way to the right of your Links tab, there's a QuoteValet tab now available. So if I click on that, you'll actually see a customer has made some adjustments, and then we'll actually get to see that information. So we'll see all the activity for this document. So we can see it was created and uploaded for the customer by this sales rep. It was then viewed for the first time. They viewed a PDF attachment. They selected an option. And then if we scroll up a little bit, they changed another option, and then they posted a comment. Now we have our IP address zeroed out just for demo purposes because I'm remoted into my demo machine. But yours would actually return back the IP address of your customer. So you can actually see if they're looking at it on a mobile device, if it's going around the company, if more than one person has viewed it, you'll be able to see that information. Now you'll see there are a couple other options to the left of the activity that include view the sales rep facing page. So if you're the sales rep and you want to respond to your customer's comment, you can click on view sales rep facing page. And this is going to prompt you to log into QuoteValet. With QuoteValet, you're going to log in just like if you were using QuoteWerks. You're going to use the same username and password. It'll remember your account number, so you don't have to worry about putting that information in. And then you just put in your QuoteWerks username and your QuoteWerks password. Click Login, and it'll bring you into the sales rep facing mode. So you can see in the top left, it tells you it's sales rep facing mode. You can see even in the background, it does say internal. So that's available for you to just kind of notify you that, hey, this is the sales rep side of things, not the customer side of things. And then you can scroll down to the bottom, and you can actually respond to this customer's comments. If you want to respond, you can post your response here, click Submit, and then that'll post your response along with their comment, so that's available, and timestamp it. This is also going to send an email to the customer that you had responded with your response, so they can actually read it in an email, so they don't have to click on the QuoteValet link. Or if they want to, they can actually click on the QuoteValet link and respond. This will also CC your sales rep, so the rep will get CC'd on this so you know that it did go out to the customer. So we've responded. Everything looks good. Let's go back to the QuoteValet document. So maybe you've sent the document out to the customer and you realize that an item is missing, or you forgot to charge them tax, or a service you were offering before is no longer available. Whatever the reason is, you need to make a change to the QuoteValet document. What you can do is you can actually recall the quote, and when you do this, it'll actually let you put in a reason why. So maybe you want to say, okay, no tax was included, and you don't want to have to eat the money on the tax. So you're going to go ahead and recall the quote. And when you do that, you'll get your confirmation. And what that does is if the customer comes in here, so let's go ahead and open up our customer document. It'll let the customer know that this quote has been recalled by this sales rep and the reason and your contact information. So very useful if you delivered something to the customer, but you don't want them to be able to make changes to the document or accept the document if they know something's wrong. So what you can do is simply make the changes to your document, and then once that's done, simply click on Deliver. And then now there's an Express Mode button available. And you just click on that, and that's going to go ahead and save your document and then re-upload it to QuoteValet with any changes. So now it's back up there for the customer. So if we go back to the customer's page, and we just say, okay, you know, everything looks good, go ahead and refresh it. You don't have to resend them the link. You don't have to do anything. They just refresh it. And you'll see here, it just brought them back to their page. So the customer's happy. Everything looks good. You're happy. They're ready to move forward. So let's go ahead and have the customer sign off on the document. So the first thing they're going to do is they're going to click this box that says they're agreeing to the terms and conditions. So something very similar with a lot of programs where you're always agreeing to the terms and conditions specified in the document. So you can see here it's saying, hey, you're agreeing to those terms in that PDF attachment. And then they can put in a PO number if they'd like. They don't have to. It is optional. If they have any comments about the document, you know, maybe if they're looking for something ASAP, they're going to put that in there. Whatever information they want to put in here, they can. So now they can sign off on the document. And your signature is going to be the same thing as your actual signature if you were drawing it on a piece of paper. It's going to be the exact same thing. So if your customer, if your customer is asking, okay, you know, how do I sign the document? They just need to put their name in here or something similar. That's going to be their electronic signature. You do have the option if the customer wants to draw their signature, if they think that makes them more comfortable or makes you more comfortable. We do have a template that would allow for that. But for this purpose, just typing in your signature is going to be just as legal as signing it electronically with like your mouse or something like that. So go ahead and click Accept. So let's make sure we check that box. Click to accept. This will accept our document. So this will now send an email to our rep notifying them that, hey, your quote was accepted by your customer. You then now have the option, if you're accepting credit card or PayPal, this Pay Now button will be available. If you're not accepting it, no worries. That Pay Now button just won't be there. So this will just be the last screen that the customer sees, and then you'll still receive that email notifying you that they accepted the quote. So we'll go ahead and click on the Pay Now button just so you can see what it looks like. So this would bring them to the payment screen where they can put in their payment information. Now, I don't have mine set up with PayPal, just with a credit card. So here they would actually be able to choose a credit card that they're using, the ones that are supported, and then put their information in. If they're making multiple payments, you'll actually see down here in the payment history, we'll actually track that. So if they made one payment already or two payments and you're requesting more, it'll actually show what their payment history is and the balance remaining. The amount shown here is going to be based on that deposit that you've set previously. So if you remember a few minutes ago when we were uploading this document to QuoteValet, before we did that, we went and we selected our deposit amount. So we did the full amount, but if we had only done 15% or 20%, whatever we had set it as, that's what this number would be here. So let's go back into our document in QuoteValet. So now that we've accepted our document, if we click on our QuoteValet tab, it's going to check for any new activity. So if you ever create a document in QuoteValet and you close the document in QuoteWerks and then come back, you know, the next day or a couple hours later and then open it, QuoteValet will automatically search for any updates. So if the customer has accepted it or posted a comment, it'll actually post a message here when you open that document and let you know. Or if you already have the document open, simply click on the QuoteValet tab and it'll check for updates at that time. So it's going to let us know customer added a PO number. So I know that that means that they probably accepted the document. And then we can see here that the customer has actually approved it. And then I'll actually update our document in QuoteWerks as closed. So we're going to go ahead and do that and hit OK. And that converts our quote to an order. So now we know that this quote has been accepted by the customer and it's moved forward. Now on the acceptance, once the customer accepts the document, we're going to we're going to send an email with the acceptance package. The acceptance package is going to include the PDF document that the customer agreed to by checking that box, as well as screenshots of the QuoteValet document. And we send that to the customer as well as the sales rep. So everyone gets a copy of everything that was included and agreed upon. So if you have any issues, you can always go back and view that. You'll see here you can retrieve the acceptance package in QuoteValet. So if you ever have an issue with your customer, you simply open their quote, click Retrieve Acceptance Package, and that'll pull all that information down. It has their IP address, their email address, date and time stamp, all that information that they've agreed to. Down at the bottom, you'll see there's a couple new options here. So now we can request payment. So if the customer hadn't made payment, you can actually click on Request Payment, and it'll bring up an email window. So we'll go ahead and click it. Or we can actually request payment on that specific document. If you want to make payment by proxy, that's available as well. That's basically making a manual payment. Maybe the customer sent you a wire transfer or they're paying by check. You can actually make payment by proxy in order to zero out this document And then you can also view the payment request page. So if the customer says, oh, no, I made payment, you can actually click on View Payment Request Page and see if it was actually made, if they actually did make the payment. So for this, let's go ahead and click on Make Payment by Proxy. And we'll say they paid by check. And we'll just say paid by check. And then the amount. We'll put in the amount of 396.40 and hit OK. So we'll say we received their check. You'll see here it says Make Payment by Proxy was successful. And then if we go into the View Payment Request page, you'll actually see no payments due at this time. And then if we scroll down, we can actually see that the customer made payment by check. So this does two things. One, it allows you to basically mark the document as paid in QuoteWerks. It also keeps the customer from paying accidentally. So if your customer sent you a check and then maybe the accountant gets a hold of this payment request page and they say, oh, we didn't send a check, we're going to pay by credit card, you don't have to worry about having to refund money or anything like that. So you can update it manually as well. So that's a nice little feature there. I'm going to go ahead and close down a couple of these windows just to make it a little easier to navigate when we get to QuoteValet, QuoteValet Web. So and you'll see here, we can even see payment was received. So that's going to be updated for you as well. So a couple things I wanted to mention about QuoteValet before we get to QuoteValet Web. If you were going to use this page for a shopping cart, so for instance, instead of creating this as a simple quote that we delivered to the customer and they ordered, maybe this is something that they order on a regular basis. Maybe it's some kind of service that they're paying you for, or it's just something that they're going to place a lot of reorders for. We can actually save this quote as a shopping cart page instead. And the way to do that is going to be very simple. We're going to click on File, Save as Template. So we're going to save it as a template. And then there's an option for Save Template as QuoteValet Order Form. So the QuoteValet Order Form is the QuoteValet shopping cart. And then you simply put in the name of it so you know what it is. When you do that, it's actually going to open up a URL so you can view it. Now, this isn't the URL you want to send to your customer. This is just so you can preview. Where you can get this, the actual URL for your shopping cart is going to be in your QuoteValet Dashboard. So we'll click on our QuoteValet Dashboard. Let's move it a little more center here. And then we're going to click on our reporting. And then you're going to see there's an option all the way at the bottom for our QuoteValet order templates. And when you click on that, that'll load any shopping cart pages that you've created in QuoteWerks, and then you can get that URL. So you can copy that order form URL to your Windows clipboard, and then that one you can actually deliver to your customer or post it on the website, so whichever one you want to set up. If you want to delete it, this is where it can be done as well. So if you need to pull that information down, you can do that. So again, that's just going to be under the Reporting tab in QuoteValet. So let's go ahead and go to QuoteValet Web. So now we've shown our information in QuoteWerks. We're able to deliver our documents to our customer. And then we want to go ahead and kind of maybe as a manager or a sales manager, we're actually going to view the different reporting capabilities through QuoteValet Web. So again, QuoteValet Web is going to be an extension of QuoteValet. It's the reporting engine for QuoteValet. So if you click on your QuoteValet dashboard, you'll see on the top right corner is the button for Launch QuoteValet Web. It's the easiest way to get there. However, you can get there, but just by clicking on, typing in your web browser, QuoteValet.com/web. So that'll bring you to the login screen. Now, I don't have to log in because I've already logged into QuoteValet previously, but I'll go ahead and log out here just so I can show you. So if you went to QuoteValet.com/login, that'll bring you here. If you do QuoteValet.com/web, either one will bring you to the screen so you can log in. And again, you're just going to use your QuoteWerks username and password. So the same username you use and password you use to log into QuoteValet, you can log in here. And then this will bring you to the home screen. So on the home screen, I'm simply going to be able to kind of navigate around. So if you were looking for QuoteValet Mobile, there's an option here to launch that. We're going to start with the dashboard. So the dashboard is going to have quite a few different options. So you're going to have your inbox. Your inbox is going to be similar to your QuoteValet dashboard in QuoteWerks, where you can see your quotes that have been accepted, paid, if a customer has viewed it, and then you can actually click on the customer-facing side of things, the sales rep side. If you want to send a note to a different user in QuoteWerks, you can do that from here. And then you can also see the activity history. If you click on the activity history, you'll actually see that information is available. The next option in your dashboard is going to be your peer reviews and approvals. So your peer reviews and approvals are going to look similar. So I'll show you the approval side of things, where any documents that you want to include on your approvals or your peer reviews will be here, and then you can actually view the approval page or any activity related to that approval page. So if you're waiting on approval, or if you're the one who actually has approvals, you can go to your dashboard, go to approvals, see which ones are waiting for approval, and click View Approval Page, and that'll bring you to that approval in QuoteValet. So again, everything's going to be really tied into QuoteValet Web, where you can actually get to all of this. So the executive summary is going to be more of management control. Now, by default, if you add QuoteWerks or QuoteValet to your QuoteWerks system, you're not going to have access to your executive summary or the status board. You'll actually have to set security settings in QuoteWerks that allow access to that, because we don't want to give anyone access to that right off the bat, because it is more of a management view type of thing. So that's something that you actually have to give yourself access to, or have the QuoteWerks admin give access to you. So the executive summary is going to break down a lot of your documents for usually a period of time. It defaults to today. I'm going to go ahead and do this week just so we can get a little more data. So we can see actually very quickly how many quotes we were sent this week, how many were accepted, how many were paid. We could now sort by the top dollar quotes or the top dollar orders, how many customer views, customer comments, sales rep comments, and we can even do a comparative analysis. So by default, it's always going to show you the quotes sent. That's going to be how we sort. But if we wanted to see quotes accepted, we can click on quotes accepted, and it'll just show us those. And you can see it's now highlighted, and it has been refreshed with those quotes only. So we're not actually seeing all 11. We're only going to see the 6 that have been accepted. Or if you wanted to see the ones that where the customer or where the sales rep posted a comment, you can sort by that way. So all this is sortable, makes it very easy to view by sales rep. You can see there's a sales rep option here, or a specific user, or all the users in QuoteValet Web. You can see kind of what's going on with their document. Now the comparative analysis is going to be another management tool. This is going to let you compare reps across the board. So again, it's going to say, all right, this week, and then this one's defaulting to sort by the amount in your orders. So we have our order total here, but we could also sort by quotes. So let's see if we had, well, this one's going to be up top for all of them, but if we want to sort by the quote value or the number of orders or anything like that, we could actually sort that way as well. So it's going to give you a quick snapshot of all your reps, documents in QuoteValet, the dollar amount, how many have been converted to orders, and the order amounts. You can see all that information very quickly using the comparative analysis. Very, very useful through QuoteValet Web. In our dashboard, we also have My Summary. So this is going to be specific to your sales rep. So this is going to be just who you're logged in as QuoteValet Web. You're going to be able to see your information. And again, it's going to show you for the different timetables that are available for you, and you can make your different selections. So if you want to see your customer-facing page or the sales rep-facing page or the activity history for a specific quote, you'll be able to see all that information here. So very similar to Executive Summary, it's just going to show you your documents as a sales rep. And this is something that's available to everyone so they can see all of their documents. They just won't be able to see anyone else's. And then the last one I want to show you is going to be the status board. So the status board is going to be what I was talking about earlier, where you have your different quotes and your priority notifications. This is where that's set up. So as you can see, there's no actual setup with it. You simply put it on a monitor, and you can have your entire sales team be able to view that information. So that's always going to be available there. Then there's a few other options. There's your Document Explorer. So if you're looking for a specific document or a range of documents, you can actually see that information here, and you can set your different range as well. There's also the Find. So if you're looking for a specific document, you can see that as well. There's also an admin function. The admin function is going to give you basically your usage details. So you can actually see what your different reps have been doing in QuoteValet Web, what they've been clicking on, that kind of thing. So it makes it very easy just to kind of see if someone's trying to look at something they're not supposed to, or if someone said, oh, yeah, you know, I checked on this quote. You can actually go into the admin and see if they actually did check on something, or if they posted a comment, or if they even looked at it. You'll be able to see that information. So it makes it really easy to keep track of everything and stay on top of everything. And then, again, you do have the ability to log out, and we can also get to QuoteValet Mobile from here. So I think that's everything that we're going to cover today. I know this went a little longer than I was expecting, but this will show you all the information that's available. If you don't have QuoteValet, if you are interested in a trial of it, let us know. We'd be more than happy to set you up with the trial so you can test this out. Again, QuoteValet, your QuoteValet subscription is going to include QuoteValet Mobile, QuoteValet Web, and the shopping cart functionality, all for the same price. You're not going to have to pay extra for it. If you do have questions about pricing, just let our sales guys know. They'll be more than happy to send out a quote for you, or they can even verbally give you the price over the phone. We do offer a monthly subscription for QuoteValet and an annual subscription. So if you just want to pay it up front for the year, that's an option. If you'd rather just go monthly, you can do that as well. There's no cancellation charges. There's no kind of fees, anything like that. It's you pay whatever the monthly charges or whatever the annual charges, and that's it. We don't nickel and dime you for everything. So it's a really great tool. Using it has been just a great thing for us because it's just made it so much easier to interact with customers, know when orders are coming in, and be able to process them that much faster and just kind of stay on top of your quotes. So it's something I highly recommend to you guys. If you haven't gotten a chance to check it out, just let us know. We'd be more than happy to set that up for you. If you guys do have any other questions, feel free to send those over. Be happy to answer those. I'll hang around for the next couple minutes and respond to any of those that you have. Otherwise, thank everyone for sitting in on the webinar today, and I hope you guys have a great day.